Hello, Ocean.
Hi.
What are you doing?
So we're going to continue our Italian adventures with making an Italian delicacy, but we're going to put a little twist on it. So at the farmer's market, we saw these really beautiful squash blossoms. So it's a traditional dish that these would probably be stuffed with some sort of cheese in Italy and then breaded and fried, but we're going to do something a little different. So I have a recipe that we're going to be making with sunflower seeds that we soaked and sprouted for about a day. So you can see the sunflower seeds, they've kind of opened up and have little tails, nice young sunflower sprouts. And then we bought some celery. This is some really sugary celery that we found, and we've just been snacking on this all the time. So we're going to use celery, and then this purple onion. I mean, this is one of the most gorgeous onions I've ever seen. I mean, look at that. It's amazing. So we're going to be using the purple part, mixing the celery and the red onion with the sunflower sprouts, a little bit of lemon juice, and again, these lemons, as we showed in our other video, these lemons are just absolutely amazing. They make the salad, and they make anything very sweet, very tangy, just gorgeous lemons. And then for a mayonnaise, we found some pumpkin seed butter. So this is raw pumpkin seed butter that we bought at the local natural food store called Naturazi. And then we have a little bit of spice. So we're going to put some black pepper on here. And then to mimic a tuna fish, we're going to use a little bit of dulse flakes. So then we'll take the tuna fish mixture and then stuff the squash blossoms with it, and that'll be our starter today. This is kind of a traditional recipe that a lot of raw food people will eat, you know, just as like a mock tuna fish salad. So we did notice something interesting the other day. We were walking by one of the many pizzerias that are in Rome, and we noticed that they put tuna fish on top of one of their pizzas. So that's where we got this idea, is that we would take this tuna fish, mock tuna fish salad, and just make an entree out of it, but using only these really fresh Italian ingredients. So after tasting the red onion, even though I chopped all of it up, we're probably going to put about half of this in here. So maybe about that much red onion. It is a little bit strong. So there we go. And the next part of it is to put our really wonderful celery that we just got recently. So the way I like to do celery is pretty easy to dice it. Just take your knife, go right down the center of it. Go down the center of it again. Stack it up and just do a nice chop right in the end.
It will be so much easier to chew when you cut it like that. Some people are just showing right in that direction, but it is so much easier to chew.
And there we go. All right, so we'll put our celery into the salad. Let's start with, let's leave a little bit on the side, just in case we want to add a little bit more later. All right, that's one really important thing about when you're making new recipes, is that you want to always put maybe about half as much of the ingredients and spices as you think it needs. You can always add more later, but you can't take them back out. All right, so the next step is for us to do a little bit of mayonnaise.
I will just tell you about some exciting news. We have made an Italian ebook. So we made recipes when we are in Italy, and we have made a book of it. So it's no electricity, because we couldn't have that when we was in Italy. So no machines and no electricity at all. And we have made classic dishes like lasagna, pesto, carbonara, tiramisu, and chocolate salami, and all the different kind of stuff. So I will link that ebook down below, so you really have to check that out, because these recipes are just amazing. And follow Rawvegan, and yeah, they are just so easy and simple and delicious.
So the mayo would be, in this case, pumpkin seed butter. So very simple mayonnaise. So maybe about, I'm going to try to put maybe 1.5 tablespoons in there. I'm just eyeing it. You know, this is just a fun recipe, not exact measurements. But let's start off with that, and then we'll put some of our lemon juice. Now, here in Italy, we rented an Airbnb that doesn't really have too many machines, so we're doing everything by hand. Normally, I would use maybe something like a juicer or even a strainer. to do this, but this is how we do things when we're traveling. We just have to improvise a little bit. So I'm just using my hand as a strainer to make sure I don't get any seeds in there. And just getting as much of that lemon juice in there as possible. These are amazing, amazing lemons.
And I mean, this tuna salad, you don't have to use a knife and whop everything by hand. You can just have a food processor and just pulse it. But we do it this way because we are traveling.
Yes, we're traveling. We don't have a food processor with us, and the Airbnb didn't give us one. And in fact, I would say that most kitchens in Italy probably don't have these advanced machines that we would normally be using at home, because as a raw food chef, I have a food processor, I have a blend tech, I have a Vitamix, a blender, and juicers, and all kinds of things. And these aren't things that you would normally find in a typical kitchen. So we're just going to use what we have, which is our hands. All right.
That is awesome.
A little bit more lemon juice. And then we're going to put some of the dulse flakes in here. So the dulse flakes is very high in iodine, and it's going to give us a nice fishy flavor to it. Smell just like the ocean.
Like the ocean, like
yes,
you.
Like the ocean.
Yes.
All right.
It gives that little sea flavor. Yeah.
So again, this is a very quick recipe, so we're not trying to make anything very advanced here. We're just using very simple ingredients to make a very flavorful dish, and that's kind of what we've been learning here in Italy, is that even when we see in the pizzas that people are eating in all the cafes, the pizzas are not very complicated. So in the U.S., we often have pizzas that have 8 or 9 ingredients on them, but here in Italy, we only see pizzas with maybe 1 or 2 ingredients at most, right? In all the cafes that we walk by, we typically see people with a very, very thin pizza with a little bit of sauce on it and a little bit of mozzarella cheese. So that's the kind of approach that we're taking when we're in Italy here. We're making things very, very simple, very few ingredients. And it's mostly the freshness in the ingredients that we're concerned with. So let's start off with maybe a half of much dulse as I think we need. And that's it. Now we've got our salad. So this is going to go into some, let's see, where's my spoon? Here's my spoon. So this is going to go into the squash blossom. So first we'll prepare this, kind of mix it around a little bit and make it, just make sure this part is done. So I'm going to do a little bit of taste test on this and see if it needs anything else. Maybe a little bit more celery, it might need a little bit more dulse. We have a little bit of black pepper too that we'll be using. So the black pepper will give it a little bit more kick. I do everything with no salt and typically no oil also. So we're really looking for other flavors in our food. So lemon juice is an excellent substitute for salt. And especially the lemons here, they have just such a massive dimension of flavor. And there's a natural salt inside the dulse flakes too. It is a seaweed, so it does mean it has a salty flavor, but it's more of it's not a concentrated type of salt. So the salt is more natural, naturally occurring in the seaweed rather than something that we're adding. All right, so let's give it a taste test.
The celery is also very salty here.
Yes,
yeah,
that's true.
It was really salty and delicious. Yeah.
All right, so there's our tuna salad. That's good. There's a lot of lemon in here.
Oh, I want to try.
So you want to try?
Yeah, give me a spoon.
I could use a little bit more dulse. What do you think?
Lot more dulse.
Yep. Let's put a little bit more dulse.
We can take more of the onion too.
More onion. And
so good.
I don't think more celery would hurt either.
Huh?
I don't think more celery would be bad either.
Yeah.
All right, a little bit more onion.
Go for it.
And let's put some more celery in. All right, and I think we're just about done with our tuna.
Yeah.
All right. So we've been seasoning the tuna fish, and we end up putting a little extra dulse in here, a little extra onion, and some extra hemp seed butter. Oh, I'm sorry, pumpkin seed butter is what we're using today. And then we have this cute little pepper. So yesterday when we were at the market, it was Campagna Amica, and we found a little garden that was in the back of the market, and they were growing all kinds of things, lavender and flowers, and we found this cute little pepper. So I'm not sure what kind this is. I want to say that it's an Anaheim pepper, but it's very mild. It's not anywhere near like a jalapeno, but it's a little bit spicier than a bell pepper. And so we just decided that we're going to throw a little bit of this in here too. And then we're ready to work on our squash blossoms. And there we go. Really, really beautiful Italian pepper, fresh, that was picked yesterday. It was straight off the vine.
Oh, so beautiful.
All right. Mmm. 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 Delicious. I'm just gonna eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we're ready to work on our squash blossoms. So the squash flower grows, and then the squash itself grows from the flower, and then you end up with a little bit of a flower on the end. So if you notice it's kind of closed here, it's a very, very beautiful orange yellow flower. So what I'm going to try to do here is see if I can cut it off at the end. There we go. And then I'm going to try to stuff my tuna fish right inside there. So look at that. There's the male part of the flower. So you want to eat it?
Oh yes. I would love to try it. Mmm. Wow. Mmm.
And the last step is just to take our tuna fish mixture and just spoon it right inside the squash blossom, just like that. Oh, you know what? I have a tiny little spoon that I was going to use just for this purpose. There we go. Oh, that looks gorgeous. So we can do a really nice elegant plating with this. We have these really nice black dishes, and typically you would just put it on the plate, and then we'll have a little bit of spillover, just so it looks like it's just overflowing with this tuna fish mixture. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let's do a few more.